might have a drinking problem. Get sober, Bear. You can do it. You can do it, Bear.
After getting a little sweet treat at the iconic Ted Drew's on Route 66, I made my way to one of St. Louis's most famous historic homes, the Lemp Mansion. This home is known for both its beer legacy and numerous tragedies that gave rise to its haunted reputation. Check out my recent video visiting the Lemp Mausoleum over at Bellefontaine Cemetery to pay my respects before spending the night in their former home. I quickly noticed the neighbors across the street. I apologize up front, this is going to be a long one. There's a lot of history here and there's a lot of area to cover. It's a huge home. So please sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy.
The gas lights are still on today. It's very cool. This is Lemp, and this is where you would have tied your horse. This is where the carriage would have pulled up, and you would have got off onto that step.
Despite their incredible wealth, the Lemp family experienced repeated personal tragedies, often referred to as the Lemp family curse. We'll get into that in a moment, but first let's take a quick look around and have dinner in the mansion. The Lemp Mansion opened its restaurant in 1975 after the Pointer family purchased and restored the dilapidated property. The restaurant has been in continuous operation for over 50 years. But on Sundays, you're in for a special treat. The meal is served family style, and the day I was visiting happened to be on a Sunday. The food was delicious, and only one little small abnormal thing happened. While we were eating dinner, my left ear started ringing out of control, and I said, "A spirit is near." I'm sure Jason thinks I'm batshit crazy. But he was a good sport. He even gave me this book, Historic Haunts of St. Louis. Make sure you go check out his channel. If you love history, it's historically marked. There's a wonderful gift shop and museum where you can learn all the history, but I'll tell you a brief description so you'll know and understand the family that once lived here. Who were the Lemps and what Lemp family tragedies cursed the Lemp Mansion? The Lemp Brewery was founded by Johann Adam Lemp, often just referred to as Adam. Adam was a German immigrant who arrived in St. Louis in the late 1830s. In 1840, he opened the Western Brewery, which would later become the famous Lemp Brewery. Adam Lemp's success came from brewing lager beer, a style that was still relatively new in America. He also took advantage of the natural caves beneath St. Louis to keep beer cold before refrigeration existed, giving his brewery a major advantage. After Adam Lemp died in 1862, his son, William J. Lemp, expanded the business dramatically. Under William's leadership, the brewery became one of the largest in the United States and helped make St. Louis a major brewing center alongside breweries like Anheuser-Busch. William Lemp would marry Julia Feckert in 1861. They would go on to have 9 children. I'll tell you about a few of them. Only one child did not survive to adulthood, which for the 1800s, I think that's pretty good. They had an infant daughter that was not named, that died the same year she was born in 1862. Their 6th child, Frederick Lemp, died in California in 1901. Frederick was the favorite son, and Frederick was the intended heir to the Lemp Brewery fortune. But he died suddenly at age 28 in California of heart failure due to complications from illnesses. Grief-stricken patriarch William J. Lemp died by his own hand inside the mansion in a 2nd-floor bedroom on February 13, 1904. When her husband passed away, the entire will and estate was left to Julia. Julia suddenly became the wealthiest woman in St. Louis. Widow Julia Lemp died from cancer in 1906. Julia is often mentioned in ghost stories associated with the mansion, but the mansion's reputation is based primarily on the 3 documented suicides that occurred inside the house. However, I did find this article that mentions that Julia did die at her residence in her bedroom. But the way the bathroom made me feel on my stay and what I observed while I was there, I almost think she died in the Lavender Suites bathroom. But that is purely speculation on my part. Call it a hunch or a gut feeling. I know what I felt, and I also know what I saw. I'll tell you more about that later. In 1920, daughter Elsa Lemp Wright died by an alleged self-inflicted gunshot wound at her home on Hortense Place in St. Louis. Elsa did not pass in the mansion, but there is a room where you can stay named in her honor. And that room is supposed to be one of the most haunted rooms in the mansion. I have a funny story about the Elsa room. So after dinner, Jason and myself ran into a man, his wife, and his daughter. The man was not staying the night, but the wife and the daughter were staying. It was the wife's birthday, and so they actually were going to be in the Elsa room. After I walked Jason out and got my stuff from my car, I come back up, and when I came back up, the couple and their daughter were outside my room. So I said, "Hey, do you want to look at my suite?" So I let them look around for a minute, and then the mother or the wife, she said, "Make sure you come up and check out our room. We're on the 3rd floor, the Elsa room." And I said, "Okay, I'll come up there in a little while." I had to charge my phone, and so I guess it was probably around 9:15. I went up there and knocked on their door twice. There was no answer. There was no one up there. There was no noise in the room. There was no like scurrying. There was no TV or videos playing on your phone. I knocked twice. There was nobody there. I never saw them again. So I'm hoping that they enjoyed their stay and had a great night. Surely they didn't have something already happen to them and they check out within an hour and a half, 2 hours. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Because if those two ladies checked out, that means I stayed in the whole entire mansion by myself. I guess that's okay with me. Since it's what apparently happened, because I never saw those two ladies again. Now back to the tragedies. William Jacob, known as Billy Lemp Jr., had become the president of the Lemp Brewery in 1904 after his father's death, making him the owner of the world's largest brewery. Prohibition devastated the business, bringing an end to the brewery dynasty. The brewery was sold at auction in 1922. Shortly after the sale, Billy committed suicide in his office in the mansion on December 29, 1922. This was downstairs from where his father had killed himself 18 years earlier. In 1949, Charles Lemp, another son, also died by his own hand in the mansion. Charles was the last member of the Lemp family to live in the Lemp Mansion. He lived there with his dog and 2 servants until his death, and he never married. On May 10, 1949, he committed suicide in his bedroom. Shooting his dog first, he left the following note: St. Louis, Missouri, May 9, 1949. In case I am found dead, blame it on no one but me. C.H.A. Lemp. Some years earlier, he had written a letter to a South St. Louis funeral home with instructions to cremate his remains immediately without a funeral or death notice put in the papers. Following Charles Lemp's death, the home became a boarding house and gradually fell into disrepair. The home was later restored and today operates as a restaurant, historic hotel, event venue, and of course a haunted historic attraction, as many visitors come to attend ghost tours and paranormal events. So is it really haunted? The Lemp Mansion is widely regarded as one of America's most haunted buildings. Visitors and staff have reported footsteps in empty rooms, doors opening and closing on their own, apparitions, unexplained voices, sudden cold spots, strange activity in the former family rooms and basement. Sign me up. On this visit, I'm staying the night alone in the Lavender Suite. The Lavender Suite is a tribute to the elegance of the Gilded Age. It's a 3-room suite composed of a sitting room, bedroom, and bathroom. The space recreates the fabulous era when beer barons slept here. It takes its name from Lillian Hanlon Lemp, who was married to William Lemp Jr., aka Billy, known in St. Louis society as the Lavender Lady. Lillian married Lemp Jr., the heir to the largest brewery in the world at the time, in 1899. She became known as the Lavender Lady because lavender was her signature color, making an exception only one time at her divorce from Billy in 1908, when she wore black to stand before the judge. I believe she divorced Billy because he was an alcoholic, and coming from a brewing family, that makes sense. But if I'm wrong about that, I will put that down below. I love this room. I love the lighting. It's beautiful. But for some reason, it creeped me out, but I kept being drawn to it.
This is a huge bathroom. My favorite light switches. Can you see the steam out there? I'm in the lavender suite. Like there's pocket doors.
Now time to go look at the rest of the home. I don't know what's going on in this video. I sound heavily congested, so I apologize for that. Maybe I'm allergic to old money. Just kidding. I will say that you can hear the interstate. Obviously, we're right there. And obviously, the interstate wasn't there when they built this mansion. The Anheuser-Busch plant is right there. I do like they have a private parking lot, so you're in a parking lot. But yeah, you can hear cars all night long from the traffic. So I have survived my night at the Lemp Mansion. Nothing happened that I'm aware of. But today's the last day of my trip. I will be heading home tonight, or today. So I'm looking forward to seeing if I can stop at some places on the way home.
home is beautiful. I was in the lavender suite. Honestly, it's probably too big for one person, but it is what it is. Love all the ornate detailing. It's beautiful. The only room I didn't like here is the bathroom. It's a weird layout. I do have a little coffee station. There's an ice bucket. The ice is up on the 3rd floor. I found that yesterday. I'm assuming these are the original hardwood floors. They're in good condition. They're beautiful.
Because the bathroom creeped me out, I was putting my makeup on here in the wardrobe or the armoire. In the mirror, I noticed what was like a black mass or a black mist go across the doorway out of my peripheral in the mirror. So it went across the doorway of the bathroom from left to right. So that's the only thing that really happened to me while I was here, besides the ear ringing at dinner the night before.
Yeah, this is the only room I wasn't real crazy about. Showers across from the bathtub, and the toilet's just kind of random. I don't know. You can hear the cars from the traffic. The lighting's beautiful in here.
So I don't know. I would love to come back and experience this place when I'm not tired. This was the last night of my 2-week trip, and I was headed home. I always say I sleep like the dead, so if anything happened while I was asleep, I was not aware of it. But I loved this bathroom. I loved lighting. I think it's beautiful, but for some reason, it just creeped me out.
I think I was the only person that stayed on this floor because this suite was open. It's a nice 2-bedroom suite. You come stay with your friends. It's a beautiful bathroom. Blue. It's gorgeous. There's a naked lady. Couple naked ladies. Looks like an old bank vault. No, it's a private office. That goes up to the 3rd floor. I went up there last night and looked for my friends, but I didn't find them. I knocked on their door, but they didn't answer. Love a good staircase. It's a beautiful home. As far as I know, we're the only 3 people that stayed the night, but I'm not sure. You can come here for all kinds of tours, escape rooms, scavenger hunts, and they have special events. Very cool. It was a good experience. I would stay here again. So after the staff leave, you can wander around. They only asked us not to go in the bar area. Into the bar. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at the ceiling. Gorgeous. Wow, look at all that detail work. So that's the library. But this is the bar. We won't go in there, but it's beautiful. You see the stained glass? Beautiful, beautiful. They're closed today, so no staff will be here. Look at that saint. And that goes upstairs to the rooms. They do have a museum and gift shop. It's closed, obviously. Saw a little bit of it last night. But it's an old bank vault. It's now the gift shop and the museum. Very cool. The vault. Could you imagine living here back in the day? It's gorgeous. This is where me and my friend had dinner yesterday. You can come eat here. Like I said, they have a restaurant, and on Sundays they have the family style. Very cool. Love the tile work. Beautiful. And look at that fireplace. So cool. Just fun to imagine all the people that probably came through these doors and socialized here. All of St. Louis society at one time. I'm always amazed by these old shoes. Look how little their feet were. And I think this bear might have a drinking problem. Get sober, bear. You can do it. You can do it, bear. I like these little beer bottles. Look how tiny they are. Very cool place to stay. If you're ever in St. Louis, you should go to the Lemp Mansion. This fireplace is beautiful. The Lemps had a lot of tragedy here, and so it just proves that having money doesn't make you happy. Look at this downstairs bathroom. Oh, look at that tub. Marble. gorgeous. And fireplace. Beautiful room. Antique European style bidet. Do not use, not a working bathroom fixture. Wow. Just wow. Beautiful bathroom. Beautiful. How cool is this clock? It says Lemp St. Louis. Very cool. Your home is lovely. Thank you for letting me visit.
Besides William Jr., I believe that Charles also took his own life in this room, because an article I read said he did it in a bedroom next to the library. On the other side of the library is a bathroom. I believe an office was no longer needed since the brewery was no more in 1949 when Charles passed. And this would have been an easy access to make a bedroom for somebody who's 77 years old and no longer had the desire or the ability to climb the stairs.
I'm sorry that you had so many unfortunate events and sad events. I hope you're finally at peace. Maybe I'll come back sometime. But yeah, I've enjoyed my stay here. The scary stairs that I have to go down to get to my car. I just dropped off my key in the box, locked the door, and then dropped the key. But yeah, they rent this place out for weddings and other special events. Usually if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. But look how close you are to the interstate. But you get to see the beautiful church and the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. I enjoyed my time here at the Lemp Mansion. I would definitely stay here again. If you're in St. Louis, make sure you check it out, at least for one of their tours. And until next time, bye for now.